So you're probably wondering why I'm comparing these two shoes. Well, I know they're in different categories, however, deliverables or performance is quite similar. So shoe comparison we've got for you today, we've got the New Balance 1080 V13 up against the New Balance Super Comp Trainer V2. So you're probably wondering why I'm comparing these two shoes. Well, I know they're in different categories, however, deliverables or performance is quite similar. So you may be tossing up between these two shoes, but today we'll go through their key features. We'll talk about the differences and the differences in performance as well, and hopefully that's going to help you guys choose the right shoe for you. So before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom right of your screen. That's if you haven't done so already. Alright, let's get into it. So as I just mentioned before, the type or the category of these shoes is quite different. The 1080 is a daily trainer and the Super Comp Trainer is in the Super Trainer category, or that's where we've put it. So what's the difference? So a daily trainer is obviously designed for daily use, and your Super Trainer is, it's like a daily trainer, but it is ramped up with, it's got the super foam, and this one in particular has got a carbon plate. So they've got some performance features in there. So price wise, so here in Australia, $260 or $165 in the US for the 1080. And then for the SC Trainer, much more expensive here in Australia. So $320, this one is in Australia, or $180 in the US. Now in the weight, now this is interesting. So the 1080 actually comes in as the lighter of the two, even though it's not a performance based shoe. So the 1080 is 9.2 ounces or 262 grams in a men's size 9, whereas the SC Trainer, slightly heavier, 9.7 ounces or 275 grams. And I must say, the feeling on the foot, I do still think that the 1080, it does feel lighter on the foot, like it does feel more nimble, like you can get around. So it does certainly feel the lighter shoe of the two on the foot. So in our stack heights here, the 1080 comes in at 38 in the rear, 32 in the front, giving us a 6mm drop. Slightly higher here in the Super Comp Trainer, 40mm in the rear, 34 in the front. Both have 6mm drops. Now talking about the drops of these shoes, the 1080 certainly feels like it has got a lower drop, and that's just got to do with the geometry of the shoes. So in the uppers we've got two very different uppers. So the design of the 1080 is all built around comfort and plushness. So it's got a really thick engineered mesh. It sort of feels like a knit. There's plush padding throughout the shoe. Very padded tongue. It's got a gusseted tongue, but you put your foot in this shoe and it just screams out comfort. So the material is really soft. The materials feel really premium. Really solid heel counter in the 1080 as well, and you do get a really great lockdown with all that padding squishing you in that nice firm heel cap there. Now in the Super Comp Trainer, it's definitely slimmed down a little bit, so the materials are not as thick and they don't feel as premium. However, they're a little bit more performance based, so a lot more breathable. Not so much padding around the heel collar. They've got a bit of a elf heel, so as you can see there, we've got a bit of the heel flare there, so that's good to take that rubbing off the back of the Achilles. Also a very thin tongue compared to the 1080, but it is gusseted, and they've got a bit of the wing fit thing that they're going on top. So yeah, the uppers, built for comfort, very thick, very padded. This one slimmed down, more performance based, very breathable, and it feels more light and airy. So fit wise, I think in the length they are about the same, so they're very close lengthwise in the fit. However, the Super Comp Trainer has a bit of a loose fit, so the toe box is a bit baggy and saggy, and your toes sort of swim around in it. So I think they've got the toe box in this one a little wrong. They've either got too much material in it, and it's a little bit too loose in the front. However, they've nailed the lockdown. They've nailed the toe box in the 1080. If anything, it's probably a little narrow in this version. However, because that material is so soft, I'm not getting any toe rubbing or anything like this. This one is just a bit of a loose fit, and your foot's flapping around all over the shop. So in our midsoles here, two different foams. So these are the two major foams that New Balance use in their running shoes. So we've got the Fresh Foam X in the 1080, and we've got the Fuel Cell in the Super Comp Trainer. So every shoe New Balance releases, they come up with a new formulation. So the formulation of the fuel cell is different in this shoe than what it is in the SC Elite, and also the Fresh Foam X they're using in this is certainly different that they use in the A880 and also the previous models and also the More V4. So different formulations of foams for each shoe. Now both these shoes are extremely soft, so they're both the two softest shoes that I have ever put on my feet. So both of these shoes are going to give you the softest pillowy feel when you put the shoe on. However, where these shoes are very different is obviously the geometry, and this one here has got a carbon plate. So this one has got so the Super Comp Trainer has got a pronounced rocker and a carbon plate in the middle of it, and so that is going to make you, it's going to give that roll forward feeling. Whereas there's not so much of that geometry in this shoe, and there's definitely no plate. Now, that results in this shoe being quite stiff, so it's got a carbon plate in it, so it is quite stiff. The 1080, very flexible, as you can see there, so it flexes both ways. And very, quite rigid, the New Balance. So the ride on these shoes both have some similarities, however, they still feel quite different. So both are super duper soft and squishy and cloud-like. However, you're going to get more bounce and pop out of the 1080, I feel. And also, it's, as I said, it's a lot more flexible. This one is a lot more enjoyable ride. It feels a lot more natural for your foot to run in this shoe. And the ride in the Super Comp Trainer, again, super soft, but remember that's stiff and it's heavily rocketed. So you're just gonna roll through the foot strike over and over again. I've also found with the Super Comp Trainer, after you use it for a fair bit, you can feel the shoe bottoming out. So you can feel it bottoming out to the carbon plate. But both shoes are not overly stable shoes. So if you need a stable shoe, steer clear of these ones. So two very different outsoles here. So in the 1080, they're using their new formulation of outsole rubber, endurance rubber. It's meant to be a little more durable than the rubber that they've previously used on their other models. You can see they've just got their flex screws running up and down the shoe, some exposed foam, and then some in the high wear areas at the back. It's wearing down still faster than a lot of other leading rubbers out there on the market, but so far this actually provides great grip and it really complements the ride of this shoe. So I like the outsole in this shoe. Now if you can see the Super Comp Trainer, it's all built around the energy arc, so that's it, you know, everything got to do with this geometry and the carbon plate. So we've just got our horseshoe there of rubber, and we've also got some slits of rubber on the inside and outside of the shoe. We've also got this huge cavity that runs through the middle of the shoe where you can see the carbon plate. So this is all built around the performance features of the shoe, which are inside here, the carbon plate and the foam. Now this outsole rubber is still soft, but it's quite flaky, so you can actually feel after each run, you can actually see like bits of dust particles or just bits of rubber, fine dust that keeps coming off after every run. So this one actually wears down quite thin, so I don't think it's going to hold up for daily use. So best shoes for both these shoes are pretty much the same thing. So they're both great for easy paces and recovery days. So both actually struggle for me at faster paces. So that's why I compared these two shoes. So you've got a Super Trainer with all these tech features, and then you've got a daily trainer, and for me, they both provide the same output, so I'm using them for the exact same thing. So the rocker in this one, so my initial few 100Ks, this shoe definitely feels more efficient, and this one is more suitable for your longer type runs, for your long run. And this one is just, if you keep your runs under an hour, it's quite enjoyable. This one gets a little bit challenging as the runs get a little longer, so I've tried a long run in this shoe and actually became too mushy and too soft for me. But I've also had that same experience in this shoe on a few long runs as well. So would I use both these shoes for daily use? I wouldn't use any of them for daily use because I don't think the durability of either shoe is going to hold up. However, durability wise, I think the 1080 is going to outmuscle the Super Comp Trainer. So I've definitely put this one through some paces, and this one is pretty much dead for me. The 1080 is still going pretty hard and still got plenty of life left in it. And if in your running shoes you wear them all day as well, So my preference there would be definitely the 1080. So I don't think a heavily rocketed carbon plated shoe is probably the best option for walking down the supermarket shelves or walking around with the kids. That one is definitely going to the 1080. However, I don't think either shoe is suited for that type of use anyway. So as you can see there, guys, the end performance results, or how I use this shoe, are pretty much exactly the same. So one's a super trainer, one's a daily trainer. Both to me are just good for your easy days. So it's going to come down to what your preferences are in a shoe. Do you like a comfortable, really flexible shoe that you can probably do a lot more in, that you can go walking, you can go play in the park with the kids with this one. So in this one you can't really do that stuff. So it's definitely going to be up to you of what you want your shoe for. You like a stiff shoe, or do you like a flexible shoe? Both crazy soft. So anyway, guys, that's it from me today. I hope you liked that one. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also if you've got any questions regarding either of these shoes, how they compare against anything else that I've got as well, please drop them in the comments below. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.